Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today we're excited to watch Monarch Legacy of Monsters, if only to see Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt play the same character basically. But until we do, until we get to have that fun, we are going to have fun watching MbL playing as the Georgians in green take on Hera playing as the Malians in red. Now all the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to go up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the civilizations that we'll be watching today? Now, the Georgians are a cavalry-centric civilization with some pretty powerful economic features. To start with, all Georgian mounted units automatically regenerate HP and can be upgraded to take 15% less population space, which helps their unique unit, the Manaspa, a tanky cavalry unit whose attack actually increases when there are other Manaspas or Nightline units in the vicinity. Now, in addition, like the Tatars, very important for the Georgians to take this. Nope, not pointing to an empty piece of land. I am pointing at the hill, the elevation, essentially the high ground, because any Georgian units or buildings that take the high ground take 40% less damage when they fight downhill compared to the usual 25. Now, to help the Georgians build as big and powerful an economy as possible, they do start the game, as we saw, with a free mule cart, but 50 less food in exchange. Their fortified churches increase the work rate of villagers within an 8-tile radius by 10%, and their Georgian economy can be much harder to raid since repairing buildings does cost 50% less resources, and their defensive structures can be upgraded to get a +2 attack boost, and their towers can be upgraded to deal pass-through damage. Now, the Svan Towers upgrade, which gives their defensive structures an extra attack and pass-through damage for their towers, haven't really seen that in action. Lots of chatter online, especially on Reddit, about how Svan Towers for the Georgians are absolutely OP. It looks like MbL queued a second villager to the Rhino for a brief second. They're taking a bit of his sweet time here before he actually attacks. But I'm hoping at some point we get to see these Georgian towers and the pass-through damage similar to a Scorpion. Should be pretty damn fun to watch. Hera pushing his Gazelle, playing as the Malians, a civilization that the game qualifies as infantry, but man, if you've watched them, played them, enjoyed them, you know they are so much more. To start with, all Malian barracks units sure do get extra pierce armor for free starting in Feudal Age, all the way up to +3 for free in Imperial, and their unique unit is the Gabeto, a quick infantry unit with a strong ranged melee attack but terrible HP and 0 base armor of any kind. But beyond their infantry, Malian cavalry can be upgraded to get a massive +5 attack boost, which is amazing because even though Malians don't get hussars or paladins, with this upgrade, their cavaliers actually hit harder than paladins, and their light cav and heavy cavalry riders are some of the strongest in the game. Now, if instead you want to go the ranged unit, maybe perhaps some archers thrown into the mix, know that you'll have plenty of wood to do so, since Malian structures, except for farms, all cost 15% less wood. And in order to help you build your military up as fast as possible, Malian gold miners do drop off 10% more gold, their universities work 80% faster, and their villagers are harder to raid because they can upgrade these structures, their town centers, to fire 8 arrows when not garrisoned, and up to 18. Yeah, you heard that right, 18 arrows when fully garrisoned, compared to the normal 10 that a town center would fire, or I should say a generic town center would fire when it's fully garrisoned. So we've got a very interesting civ matchup here. Both civs with some good economic features and good protection for their villagers, especially as it relates to their town centers, which technically are defensive structures. In the meantime, haven't gotten to that point yet. It is our Malian first to head up to Feudal Age. Our Georgian not quite done training villagers yet, going up to 20. Our Malian Hera going up on the back of 18. A good time for us to zoom out and take a look at the bases and see how they spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4 medium forests along the right edge of our Georgian base. Left edge of the base, left side, completely open. Completely open. Primary gold, luckily for MbL, nice and in the back, but primary stone and additional gold a little bit exposed. And this one, particularly in the middle of nowhere, is exposed. Now, because MbL's got 1, 2, 3, 4 forests, we know Hera also 1, 2, 3, 4 forests. The symmetry of Age of Empires. His forests in a much better location. Look like a compass. Never eat shredded wheats over here. His primary gold also nice and secure in the back. His primary stone a little bit off to the side. So overall, I would give this base positioning and resource positioning here to our Malian. That being said, it looks like our Georgian does have one relic to the left, one relic to the right. We'll see if that plays any role whatsoever. Hera has just now discovered the little houses over here as he begins circling the edge, dancing, tiptoeing around the edge of that Georgian base. Where is our Georgian scout? He is just hanging out here. Okay. Our Georgian, thinking perhaps that he's Vietnamese, knowing exactly where his opponent is, has no desire to go out onto the map. Very interesting play out of MbL, who now moves out, I guess, after taking a tiny bit of damage on this mule card. Oh, and it looks like a wall-off attempt here, perhaps, or perhaps not. Maybe you were just plopping down a stable in any event. Hera sees it literally immediately. Both of them getting horse collar at the exact same time, both now on 20 villagers apiece. We see what our Georgian is doing. Let's take a look at what our Malian is doing, walling off one half of the forward position of his base, walling off more of his base. He's got a stable and a barracks as well. My favorite, lemon bushes being harvested, foraged, I guess would be the correct term. And our Malian is here with 3 scouts, 2 and a third en route, with 1 more training. And look at that. Our Georgian, despite being last to scout, has found exactly where his opponent is. Luckily stumbled on this 4 patch of stone and knew that he was in the right vicinity. The presence of the gold would have also confirmed it. That being said, our Malian is walling himself off. I wonder if he wants to put on the pressure, if he's worried about pressure from his opponent. So far, let me know your thoughts. What do you guys think of the new civilizations? The Georgians, the Armenians. We've seen the Persians in actions. I mean, what do you say about the Persians? That war elephant, lightning fast, if lightning was slow. The Savars, citadels on their castles. They seem like their win rate should be shooting up significantly. 2 spearmen face each other here. What's the HP on them? 27 to 24. But the red spearman evens it up by getting the first attack here. Tinkle, tinkle. Looks like we're about to have our second kill of the game as Hera kills a second unit. But yeah, I'm interested to know people's thoughts on these civilizations, because they've shown to have their strengths and weaknesses. They've shown that they shine in different arenas. Oh no. Oh no. Hera not paying attention here. Loses 1 scout, will lose a second. Why is he not paying attention? Because green is attacking his woodline, it looks like. And 3 scouts bite the dust. Our Georgian not only evens up the kill count. Okay. And Hera actually evens up the kill count. He actually kills more than Hera, but Hera uncharacteristic here to throw away 240 food just like that, with scouts that have stopped in the middle, literally at the edge of the world, as he now gets attacked by MbL, but manages to shoo MbL away. As anyone plopping down any additional structures, it looks like no, both MbL and Hera still missing a secondary structure. Neither of them really building any military to speak of. Our Georgian is here. Remember these mounted units. Oh, he gets a villager as well. But Hera has a villager kill too. So this is going to be a very fun matchup. Why do I say that? Because you've got on the one hand cavalry that regenerates HP 11. Should be bouncing up to 12 any second now. There we go. Both players are walling their bases off. And our Malian just is such a fun civ to watch. It's one of these civilizations where you don't know what the hell you're going to see. You can see Gebetos, you can see heavy camels, you can see, oh, you can see that. You can see him poking at a scout who dies. For now, it looks like our Georgian wants to rush up to Castle Age a little bit quicker than our Malian, who, despite dropping off 1 extra ingot of gold for every 10, is still down in gold with 4 villagers to 6. But MbL getting a good amount of damage done. Both of them have 4 kills. Both of them have 1 villager kill. But nothing critical. He's just kind of keeping his units around here, because take a look at his resources at the top left of your screen. He is rushing his butt up to Castle Age. Hera Nowhere close. Still needs about 100 gold, 250 food, as he yet again shoos away these scouts. I'm sure MbL is just happy to keep circling Hera on this side of the map. Might be a good time to see how many relics the players have seen. Not that these are two very relic heavy or relic focused civilizations. It looks like Hera has seen one relic. Just this one? That is incredible. Our Georgian has seen two. So you're telling me Hera hasn't seen... Okay, no, never mind. He has seen these two. I don't know why I thought he saw one. Maybe just now he scouted it. Both players heading up the castle. Surprisingly, even though Hera was behind significantly in resources, he is only 30 seconds or so behind his opponent going up to castle. And let's see what our players want to do once they reach castle. Double archery range for our Georgian. I don't know about that. Okay, we'll see what comes out of those archery ranges. I'm assuming with bloodlines is going to be cavalry archers. I guess Georgian cavalry archers are a okay strategy. Now against the Malians, I'm not too sure. They are missing, as we can see, ring archer armor, I think is the last. Man, some of these upgrades just refuse to stick in my mind, and some of these units, like a monk and a knight, just refuse to come out correctly from my mouth. But I think ring archer armor is, the third upgrade, so they are missing that. I also think they're missing thumb ring, which means they're not going to fire particularly fast, nor are they going to be very accurate. But yeah, no, we're going to definitely see some kind of archer unit. And with Bloodlines research, it's definitely going to be a cav. Or I shouldn't say definitely. You guys know I could say 1 + 1 is 2, and Hera will find a way to make it 3. No, there it is. Okay, cav archers. Glad I could call that right. Spearman falls. Green is going to try to keep all the pressure here to the back of Red's base. Red looks like he is on relic duty, with these scouts getting more and more map vision. And Green is no longer the only one in Castle Age. Oh, and look at that. Hera either wanting to gather relics or perhaps expecting a big melee cavalry push is plopping down a monastery, but MbL sees it right away, and out comes the camel. Now this is going to be the bane of the Georgians' existence, who is getting the pikeman upgrade just for these 3 units. No, he's going up to 7 spearmen. Okay, so he sees the camel, he knows, but I think this is going to be the bane of MbL's existence here. Now that camel is purpose built to kill anything that the Georgians can throw at it except pikemen. Now Hera doesn't know exactly because he doesn't have a good eyeballs. Look, this is what he's seen. He hasn't seen any of this military infrastructure at all. So he knows that he's playing the Georgians. He suspects that there's going to be cavalry. So whether it's melee or archer, the camel is a fantastic unit. One of the few that can catch up to cavalry archers. One of the few that comes with attack bonuses against cavalry class, which I believe the cavalry archers do have cavalry armor. In the meantime, our Georgian taking advantage of the 10% faster work rate. I mean, you actually have to be working. You can't just be standing around here. But within, I believe, an 8-tile radius, these villagers here, these lumberjacks, these farmers are going to work 10% faster. And he's got another one right here. I'm surprised. Okay, I was going to say he's not plopping them down next to the scarcer resources. By the way, the fact that you can, with the December patch or update, whatever you want to call it. I used to call them patches. Now I'm going to call them updates. You can start building a gate and lock it before it completes is a huge deal, I think. But here we go. Hera's going to discover that he is facing cav archers. Should be pretty damn happy that he built 3 camels just to be able to defend a little bit here. And let's see what he does. He's getting husbandry on his own, of his own. So now these camels are going to move at 1.6. The cav archers 1.54. So they're a tiny bit slower. Like I said, camels, especially if Hera commits to camels, he's not really training any military except a few scorpions. So he's not really committing to any particular branch of the military just yet. Ooh, the monk's got to be careful. But you know who else has to be careful? These cav archers. We are still in the old patch. There is no devotion, which means that these guys are pretty damn good. I mean, they're going to be better. Who's kidding who? But they're still pretty damn good. Let's see it. They move in. They take a bunch of damage. They move out. MbL's got to be careful here. You can't pop into a town center. You can't pop into a few scorpions and just take a bunch of damage just like he's doing right now. So there's a lot of fun changes coming up with the next patch. We'll see how the video I made about devotion, the big question I have, how will it impact? Will it actually be that significant of an impact? And by the way, speaking of significant, it looks like our Georgian wants to boom even though he's down 19 villagers. Hera's just been booming. And by the way, Hera walled off the eastern portion of his base, the western portion of his base, and the southern forward portion of his base right up until now. So these cav archers, with cav archers, you either snowball them out of control and build like 40 of them or 30 to 40 of them, or you have to get some actual critical damage done. For now, MbL's got the army count lead, but he's still down now 22 villagers. He's going to catch out some scorpions. But as I was saying, here we go. That's why you want to be very careful with the monk, even though there is no devotion yet. Looks like he did convert one of the pikemen who should die right now. But when you're fighting ranged units that can close the distance, remember, monks have a minimum conversion time. Wow, good get there for MbL. So the fact that these cav archers can close the distance on the monk without having to go, you know, the full 9 tiles in means that they have a significant advantage over melee cavalry. And he's doubling down on cav archers against a civilization that has Farimba camels. And yeah, look at Hera. He's going up to 6 camels now. So he sees that his opponent has made a huge number of cav archers. What are we working with? 20 now. But okay, following up on going up earlier, he is heading up to Imperial, is our Georgian. Now, one funny thing is, right now in Castle Age, I would say the cavalry archers and the camels are pretty evenly... They're pretty even. You know, one comes with very bad base pierce armor of 0. Right now, these camels have 0 armor, 0 upgrades at all. Hera very much focused on his economy. 95 villagers to 55. A 40 villager lead. It's insanity. That being said, the cav archers aren't the strongest unit with no real attack bonus against the camels, but the camels can close. They're fast, and they come with an attack bonus of +9. Now, what happens in Imperial? The dynamic changes entirely. And by the way, the reason I'm talking about Imperial Age is because Hera is now also heading up to Imperial. The dynamic changes completely. The cav archers are missing the last armor upgrade. The camels attack on a 14 plus an 18 bonus. One camel joins the Georgian Empire with 50 seconds going to be in Imperial. All the scorpions are down except one last one. Where are you? Probably just popped out of the siege workshop. Yes, you did. MbL doesn't realize it, but he's got such a finite window here. Is this open? Kind of looks like it's open, but you know, things can be deceiving in Age of Empires. Finally, he's getting an armor upgrade. But MbL, let's see how he does here. What will he do with these cav archers? These guys are not meant to have 11 kills. They are meant to have 30 villager kills. He's got to put them here. Look at this amazing nook. This one tile here where you could probably fit in like 5 or 6, and it's open. Oh, MbL, have you scouted this part? No, just barely. And Hera realizes that this is a weak spot, plops down a town center so he can escape into it. Looks like MbL taking unnecessary damage here. He's going up to a heavy cav archer. He's getting bracer. They now have +1/+1 armor. Camel count is, I talked so much about camels. And ultimately, Hera's got 3 camels. Good get there for MbL. But oh, look at that. He tried to bust into the base, but Hera too quick. The lightning hands stop MbL from penetrating the base here. Both players are now in Imperial. Looks like Hera with a big fat defensive castle selling 500 food for gold. He is getting armor upgrades. These are now heavy cavalry archers. And here we go. This is what I was talking about. I think it's open. This is open. You can go in. Why are you attacking a palisade? I think this is open. Okay. Doesn't matter. MbL's in. He's in on the left. He's in on the right. But where the hell is he going? There are so many town centers. And there's Farimba. 2 seconds away. And heavy camels. Okay, good to know that I still got it a little bit. But this is what I was trying to say earlier. Now there's an absolutely massive power differential between these two units. This hit and run sniping unit isn't. Oh, he gets caught out again, and now these cav archers are going to absolutely die. Oh, that is so unfortunate. Look how little damage they're doing to the camels. All of that for 2 camels. Yikes. But yeah, now you've got a camel rider with full upgrades. Should attack on a 14 against the unit that's missing the last armor upgrade and has no Parthian tactics. So the attack speed is still just basic 2. And MbL seems a little lost. He doesn't really seem to have a concrete kind of game plan in this point. Okay, enough cav archers to 2-shot, but now the camel blocks the way. Hera deletes his own house, tries to surround these cav archers. They are now heavy camels, plus 18 attack bonus against cavalry class, which, take a look at their armor. They get cavalry armor. MbL's got to get villager kills right now. He's down 52 villagers. That 53, sorry, that is absolutely bonkers. Hera decides to just delete a whole bunch of camels here instead of letting them get converted. At the same time, it looks like these pikemen trying to get something done, but 0 kills means they haven't got anything done. And now MbL's converting houses. I'm literally scratching my head right now, not just because it's itchy, but because not really sure what MbL is doing here. He's committing to a unit. He's getting conscription to train them faster. Now Hera getting ballistics is also a little confusing. It must be for his castles. Not that I expect these cav archers to engage under castles. There are enough cav archers to one-shot these camels? Maybe. Doesn't really look like these shots are landing, even though he's got ballistic. He's getting halberdier as well. So MbL trying to slow down the pace of this game right as our Malian tries to quicken it with one final upgrade, iron casting. So these camels attack on a 13. They're going to attack on a 14. Hera's engaging before the upgrade is complete from the low ground. Remember, Georgian units do, they get 40% less damage done to them. But it doesn't matter when you have a freaking plus 18 attack bonus. They are all melting behind this castle. Oh, why did you have to engage behind the castle? Our Georgian tries to plop down his own castle, realizing that, oh, wait a second, I'm a little late to the party. As all of a sudden the Malian camels show up and they're attacking again on a 14 now. Trying to click one of them. Look at that insanity. 14 attack means they are pretty damn good at taking down villagers. A random spy house here in the middle of the Malian base as the Malian just becomes overwhelming. He's here to the right. He's here to the left. Now, the good news for our Georgian, you can run away into these fortified churches with your villagers. What's the relic count? By the way, our Georgian, I didn't notice all 5 relics. He's got 2,000 extra gold. We'll see how that all shapes up for him. Maybe that's why he's not so focused. No! Why did you do that? You literally opened the gates, rolled out the welcome mat to your opponent who is now in here. Luckily for him, Hera's attacking a mule. A mule, the donkey cart, while the 3 relics means 3 arrows, but no murder holes means that these camels should be pretty damn safe, even though their base armor is actually pretty damn bad. And Hera again just stops his units in the middle of nowhere as they take a whole bunch of damage from a halberdier. But with a 14 attack, even a halberdier has to be weary of engaging with these guys. What's going on the left here? Looks like our Georgian wants to snipe a trebuchet. Might want to repair this, or at least pack it, or unpack it, whatever the hell the term is. I'll never remember what the term is. I've just kind of resigned to my fate here that I'm never gonna know packed or unpacked. You guys know what I mean. Once they go into attack mode, look at their pierce armor jump up to 150. Looks like a Malian camel converted. Might want to run away. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Now the light cav are here with their 14 base attack. And another castle being plopped. Our Malian at 200 population. Our Georgian at barely 100. He is getting absolutely constricted like a boa constrictor. We've already got a Viper in Age of Empires. Now we've got a boa constrictor who's just squeezing from every single angle here. I mean, kudos to MbL, I guess, for committing to a specific type of unit, Mr. Yo style, and just building a meme build. But again, the power dynamic, the power spike is just too great here for that Malian camel. And even with 2 castles, these light cav are still going to put a good dent in these cav archers with their, again, ridiculous 14 attack and 6 pierce armor. That being said, Hera's just throwing away a bunch of units here. The army counts are surprisingly similar, but look at villager count. Yikes. This fortified church is under attack. Get murder holes. A second castle. Hera does not want MbL to exit his base at all. To the left, he's besieging the structures. To the right, he's starting to attack with trebs. And what the hell can MbL do here? You can't attack a treb with 150 pierce armor. By the time you get off 2 or 3 volleys, this castle will have killed 4 or 5 of your cav archers. Hera, the pathing not great, is throwing away a bunch of these cavalry units, but does he care? He's got 63 villagers on food. MbL has dropped below 100. It's only a matter of time now until our Georgian, unless he can pull something out of his ass, unless he can find a way to get a good amount of damage with these cav archers, which he's just not getting. Yeah, no surprise there. Wow. What do you say about a game like this? MbL's economy non-existent. We got to look at the economic numbers. I know it's at the bottom right. I'm trying to avoid looking down there. Oh my God. Even without the relic gold, it's more than a 50% bigger economy. Even with the relic gold, it's about 50% bigger economy. Holy moly. And even with 3,000 relic gold, he just barely edges out the Malian with that extra 10% gold drop off. But look at the difference. Look at the food difference. 16,000. The difference alone is bigger than all the food our Georgian collected. This is 4 extra castles worth of stone about. Wow. Conversion 7 out of 181, 2 out of 152. So not great conversion numbers, but look at the mini map on your screen. I wanted to see Svan towers. Instead, we're getting Malian guard towers. Hera with a castle to the west. 2 trebuchets. So cocky is he that he can keep his opponent at bay, that these trebs are completely undefended. This one you can call defended right up until the cav archers park their asses here and start attacking it. This one completely undefended. A little bit of gold still left here. On the eastern flank, 2 castles, 2 more trebs. Where is the 5th treb, by the way? So we've got 2 trebs. No, wait a second. So there's 2 trebs here. There's 2 trebs here. Where's the 5th? I wonder if it's okay, it's here positioning to attack these castles. But holy moly, MbL, you gotta give kudos to him. He picked the unit that the Georgians specialize in, which is just generally broadly, you know, men on a horse. Would he have been better off picking melee? Probably better off going Manaspas, or, you know, some kind of melee, even possibly cavaliers. But ultimately, with a unit like this, and okay, so I said 30 to 40, he's got 38, so he's within the range of a death ball numbers. But with a unit like this, you really want them running around. You really want them sniping villagers. You really want them darting in and out, especially when they regenerate HP. And we saw him try to do that time and time again, whether it was attacking this palisade that he really didn't have to, because again, this whole thing was open at the time, or whether it was converting this house, trying to bust his way in through here, or when he tried to bust his way in through here and Hera plopped down these 2 houses. I guess he deleted one of them to stop him from doing it, or when he finally ultimately did penetrate the base, but for then a strange, inexplicable reason, parked all of his cavalry archers here. MbL did try to get as many villager kills as possible, but Hera's defense was just airtight. He did not let these cav archers get the damage that they needed. And look at their HP, almost perfect. That is the regenerative property of the Georgians. But now all of a sudden, yuckity yuck. What do you do? First of all, Hera's secure. His base is mostly walled in. This Georgian base, not walled in at all. And he's lost control of the relics. He's rebuilding the fortified church a few tiles to the left when there's already 2 trebs here. So squeezed from the right, squeezed from the left. His forward position going to be under attack any minute now. And besides, even if it's not under attack, you leave it. There's nothing MbL can do. What's he going to do with these 2 castles here? They can't reach any villagers to the north. They're not really in any kind of strategic defensive position, so they're not helping out with the raids on the base. Not that there's much of a base left to raid. 49 villagers to 149. Now that is definitely math that I can do. And Hera, just with that villager lead, 50% bigger economy, is just absolutely redonkulous. 119 cav archers, 96 light cavalry units, peak APM for our Georgian. What do I want to say? Mid-game, peak APM for Hera right at the end of the game. And we saw the economy. We saw, wow. Let's take a look at the total kill count. 185 to 152, 70 villager kills. So Hera getting less military kills and focusing more on the civilian population. Absolutely fantastic game out of Hera. Absolutely fantastic game. I love what MbL was trying to do. I really wish rather that he could have gotten a little bit more damage done. You'd like to see, you know, a good back and forth between the players. Look how many villagers there are here exposed. 6 exposed over here. 18 exposed over here. There's a bunch over here. 11 exposed over here. This wood line, for some reason, is being repopulated by Hera. I say for some reason, there's no pressure on him, so he can literally take whatever resource he wants out on the map. But ultimately, those cav archers just not getting the damage that they needed. And with 38 of them to have 36 kills, you need, in my opinion, agree, disagree, at least a 2-to-1 kill count for this unit. With 38, what I mean is you want to see at least 76 kills for them to be cost effective, or just basically effective. I'm not even looking at the cost, to be honest. I leave that to the more mathematically inclined casters. But just from a practical game standpoint, if you've got 10 cav archers, you generally want to kill 20 units with them, because they're not a strong unit. They attack on an 11. That's a basic foot archer attack, like a longbow, for example. They have 80 HP. They're missing the final armor upgrade. So this really was an absolute imbalance of... Oh my god, he's training Gebeto. Sorry, I'm distracting myself. And final thought, an absolute imbalance of power spikes, whereas I think these guys spike maybe very, very, very early Imperial, very late Castle. The Malian cavalry just shines throughout Imperial. I mean, what the hell do you do? It's a 14 base attack, 6 freaking Pierce armor, and those camels, which by the way are all dead, but again, the perfect counter to whatever came at him. So Hera just playing this perfectly, keeping himself walled in, knowing that he was going to face cavalry, whether with a bow and arrow or with a lance or with a sword, doesn't really matter. Walls off the entirety of his base until he can defend, until he can get his butt up to Castle and Imperial. And with that, he gets Farimba, one of the best upgrades in the game, in my opinion, and just uses that upgrade to overwhelm. And not only with the human army, the actual, like, people on horses, but also with the boa constrictor strategy here, squeezing on the left, squeezing on the right, putting pressure now. These guys are heading straight into here. Absolutely epic game out of both players, but ultimately it is our Malian who defends, who holds, and who pushes out in a grand fashion, takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.